A mafia boss leaves a lighter on the table after paying his respects to his dead wife. What does it mean? Why did he leave that lighter there? Let's find out in today's story. The year is 1980. A powerful mafia boss from New York named Angelo Ruggiero has arrived in Las Vegas to collect money from a casino. Owner named Anthony Spilatro, who also happens to be his brother-in-law. Now Angelo is a dangerous man. In fact, he was so feared that even other mobsters wouldn't mess with him. And this was mainly due to the fact that he was one of the very few mobsters who had actually served time in prison and had made it out alive. So you can only imagine how dangerous he must have been. When Angelo arrived at the airport, Anthony was waiting there to greet him with open arms. But soon after they met up with each other, they realized that there was a third person in their meeting. And that was none other than Anthony's girlfriend, a beautiful woman named Mary. Now, both brothers-in-law were shocked because they had no idea that the other was seeing someone. You see, the mafia is a world where there is no loyalty or trust. Even family members are considered enemies. So neither of them said anything about the situation. They all got into Anthony's car and drove off to the hotel where Angelo was going to stay for the next couple of days. And on the way, they discussed business. Anthony told Angelo that he had $1 million ready for him, but that wasn't exactly what Angelo had come for. No, Angelo had come all the way from New York to offer Anthony a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He wanted his brother-in-law to join him in New York and become a member of his crime family. Of course, Anthony found this offer quite tempting, but he couldn't just abandon his life in Las Vegas and move across the country like that. So Angelo offered him a compromise. He would wait for 2 weeks for Anthony to get his affairs in order, and then they would go over to New York together. Anthony accepted this offer, but it wasn't exactly out of the goodness of his heart. No, he made this deal with Angelo because he knew that if he didn't agree, Angelo would kill him. You see, when Angelo makes an offer, he expects it to be accepted immediately. And if someone refuses his offer, he shows them what he's made of, which usually ends up with them accepting his offer anyway. But things don't always go according to plan, as you'll see. After reaching the hotel, Angelo asked Mary to come over to his room later that night. The thing was that Angelo was a married man, and he had no intentions of cheating on his wife. However, Mary was such a beautiful woman that he simply couldn't resist her. And because Anthony didn't say anything about her, Angelo assumed that she was nothing more than just a friend. Angelo's wife back in New York had passed away a few months ago, and he had been feeling a little lonely ever since. So when Mary showed up in his hotel room that night, the two of them slept together. The following day, Angelo went down to the lobby to meet up with Anthony, and they left for the casino together. On the way, Angelo kept glancing at his watch because he was expecting Mary to call him. But when they reached the casino, he saw Mary standing right there waiting for him. They all three spent the whole day at the casino playing blackjack and drinking. Angelo was in a great mood, but soon enough, it was time for him to go. So Angelo told Mary to go back to the hotel with Anthony, and that he would follow soon after. When Angelo returned to his room that night, he noticed that there was a lighter on the table. To be honest, he wasn't surprised to see it there because he knew exactly who left it for him. It was a message. Someone was sending him a message by leaving that lighter on his table. But who could it be? Who would dare send a message to the one and only Angelo Ruggiero? Well, to find out who it was, we'll have to head over to another part of town where a hitman is sitting inside a diner waiting for his contact to arrive. His name is Leonard, and he's been working for the Russian Mafia for the past 5 years. This organization is so secretive that not many people even know about its existence. But the truth is that the Russian Mafia is one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in the world. And Leonard is one of their best hitmen. This guy is so good at what he does that he's never been caught yet. The only problem is that he doesn't really have much work to do. Most of the targets that the Russian Mafia wants eliminated can be taken care of by the police. So Leonard spends most of his time at these diners waiting for his phone to ring. It's been almost 2 weeks since he's last done a job. And to be honest, he's starting to get a little bored. But today is a special day. Today he's gone meet with the new boss of the Russian Mafia and discuss some upcoming jobs. When he enters the diner, he sits down at a table and orders himself a cup of coffee. But before the waitress can bring him his drink, he sees the man he's been waiting for. His name is Dmitri, and he's the new boss of the Russian Mafia. As soon as he approaches the table, Leonard stands up and asks him, "What's the job, boss?" Dmitri smiles at him and replies, "We have a mole inside the Italian Mafia, and he's given us some valuable intel over the past couple of months." But now he needs our help. He wants us to eliminate a certain mobster. Who's the target boss? Leonard asks. His name is Angelo Ruggiero. Do you know him? I've heard of him. He's quite the character, Leonard says. That's why we need you to take him out. I want you to go to his hotel room and eliminate him tonight. Do you understand? Loud and clear, boss, Leonard replies. After taking care of Angelo, you will meet me back here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We will split the payment the mole has given us, and you will take the rest of the money and disappear. Are you clear? Crystal clear, boss? Leonard replies. After the meeting, Leonard goes to the bathroom and washes his face. When he looks up, there's determination in his eyes. This is exactly the kind of challenge that he's been looking for. He takes out his gun and checks it to make sure it's fully loaded. Then he puts it back in his pocket and walks out of the diner. Leonard knows exactly where to go and what to do. When he reaches Angelo's hotel room, he takes out his gun and slowly opens the door. But before he can step inside, he notices a lighter on the table. He picks it up and smiles, because he knows that this lighter means only one thing. There's already a war going on between the Italian and Russian Mafia, but nobody knows about it. All of the violence happening in the streets is just a side effect of this secret war. And now, it seems like the Russian Mafia has infiltrated Angelo's hotel room. Leonard feels like he's playing a game. Whoever sent him that lighter probably knows that he's there. It's just a matter of finding out who it is. So Leonard decides to play along. He leaves the lighter on the table and then sneaks out of the room. He's going to hide in the shadows and wait for Angelo to show up. Meanwhile, Angelo has no idea that there's a hitman hiding in the shadows waiting to take his life. He gets into his car and drives away. The next morning, Dmitri shows up at the diner early to meet with Leonard. But when he arrives, he notices that Leonard isn't there. He waits for a few minutes, but still, Leonard doesn't show up. Dmitri gets angry because he hates waiting. Wait! But then he notices a lighter on the table. He picks it up and realizes that Leonard has sent him a message. The message is clear. Leonard doesn't want to work for him anymore. Dmitri gets furious because he hates being disrespected. He was willing to pay Leonard $2 million to take out Angelo. But now it seems like he's going to have to do it himself. Don't forget to tell us what you think in the comments.